The man stepped inside quietly, as if he already knew he belonged there. Adil felt a rush of confusion and anger, but also something else. Fear. Not the kind that made him want to run, but the kind that made him realize he had been protected from a truth far bigger than anything he had imagined. His brother avoided his eyes completely, and the silence between them became unbearable. Before anyone could speak, Adil's phone buzzed again. This time it wasn't from Sarah, it was from an unknown number, but the message was short and chilling. Don't trust the man at your door. Ask about the night he left. The words hit him like a punch. He stared at the man again, suddenly seeing him not as a lost figure from childhood, but as someone woven tightly into the mystery strangling their family. The man noticed his reaction. "You've grown," he said calmly, as if discussing the weather. "And it's time you knew why things happened the way they did." Adil's brother stepped forward quickly, panic flashing in his eyes. "You said you wouldn't come back," he whispered, voice unsteady. "You promised." The man didn't blink. Promises change when danger returns. Adil felt his heart race faster. What danger? Neither of them answered. Instead, the man pulled out an old envelope, worn, torn, and sealed with something that looked like it had traveled through years of secrets. He placed it on the table without a word. Adil stared at it, sensing that whatever was inside held answers he wasn't ready for. Just then, headlights flashed through the window. A car stopped outside the house, door slamming shut. Footsteps rushed toward the entrance. Adil's brother's face dropped, fear overtaking him completely. "They found us," he whispered. Adil froze. He didn't even know who they were, but the dread in his brother's voice made it clear this new arrival wasn't a friend. The knock on the door came again, but this time harder, louder, and filled with intention. The stakes had just doubled, and Adil sensed that the real danger was only beginning. Adil felt his throat tighten as the pounding on the door grew louder, shaking the small house. His brother grabbed his arm, eyes full of fear, but the older man, the one who had returned after so many years, stood completely still, as if he had expected this moment all along. The tension snapped when the door burst open and two men stepped inside, their faces sharp with determination. They weren't shouting or threatening. Their silence was more frightening than anything. "Adil, we're not here for you. We're here for him." He pointed straight at the man who had returned. Adil looked from one face to another, trying to make sense of everything. His heart raced as the older man stepped forward slowly. "If you want me," he said, "then let me speak first. They deserve the truth." The men hesitated, and that moment of pause allowed Adil to finally demand answers. "What truth?" he asked, voice shaking. "What is going on?" The older man took a deep breath. "The night I disappeared," he began, "I wasn't running away from you or your mother. I was protecting you. There were people coming after me because of something I discovered, something that could have destroyed innocent lives. I left to keep all of you safe." Adil felt anger and confusion mixing inside him. "And you never came back? Not once? You let us think you abandoned us." "I didn't have a choice," he whispered. "If they knew I cared about you, they would have used you to control me." The men who had burst into the house exchanged glances, finally stepping back. "He's telling the truth," one of them said. "We're here to take him into protection, not harm him. The people who chased him are gone for good. His part in this is finally over." Relief washed over Adil, though it was tangled with years of hurt. His brother let out a shaky breath, shoulders dropping for the first time that night. It felt like the storm that had hung over their family for years was finally clearing. But just when everything seemed to settle, the older man reached for the envelope on the table and handed it to Adil. He said, "There's one more thing you need to know," he quietly. "Your mother, she knew I was alive. She kept it secret to protect you, too." Adil froze, the world tilting beneath him. His mother, the woman he trusted most, had hidden the biggest truth of all. The envelope felt heavier now, as if it carried more than paper. It felt like it carried the final twist, one that would change how he saw everything forever. Adil stood there for a long moment, staring at the envelope, as if it might burn through his fingers. The house felt strangely calm now,
almost too calm after everything that just had happened. His brother sat down slowly, still processing the truth about their father, while the two men who had come to take him into protection waited respectfully near the door. Adil finally opened the envelope, his hands trembling slightly. Inside were letters, old, worn, and carefully folded. They were addressed to him and his brother, written over the years but never delivered. As he read the first one, he could almost hear his mother's voice explaining everything gently, the way she always did. She wrote about the danger, the fear, and the impossible choice she had been forced to make. She had kept their father secret so the boys could grow up without being targeted. She wrote about how she prayed every day that one day they would understand and forgive her. It wasn't a perfect explanation, but it came from a place of love, and that softened something inside Adil that he didn't even know had hardened. When he looked up, his father was watching him with tired eyes, eyes that carried years of guilt and longing. He said, "I never wanted to stay away, but your mother, she was braver than I ever was. She carried everything alone so you could have a chance at a normal life." Adil folded the letter again and took a slow breath. "We deserved the truth," he said, but his voice wasn't angry anymore. It was just honest. His father nodded, accepting that without trying to argue or defend himself. And somehow that honesty created a small bridge between them, fragile but real. The men finally stepped forward. "It's time," one of them said. His father placed a gentle hand on Adil's shoulder before leaving. "When this is over," he promised, "I'll come back properly. No more running." As they walked away, Adil felt a strange mix of sadness and hope. His brother and he sat together reading through the remaining letters, piecing together the truth about their family. The pain was still there, but now there was understanding too, and that made all the difference. By the time the sun began to rise, the house no longer felt haunted by old secrets. It felt like a place where healing could finally begin. Adil realized that sometimes life gives you answers in the most unexpected ways, and even broken families can find a way back to each other. In the end, the simple truth was this: love may bend, but real love never truly disappears.